This is WZOB Fort Payne, 100.9 FM and 1250 AM.
Already here.
Faster?
All right, it is 11 o'clock. Sorry, I couldn't hear anything. It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have anything turned on for y'all, did I?
Here we go. We're live on air.
It'll be one of those days. I'll show you.
At least we're live on the air. You are listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. It's 11 o'clock Thursday. That means WZOB 100.9 FM, 1250 AM. We are also live streaming on Facebook. If you are listening or have your computer pulled up and want to go to WZOBradio.com and click the Listen Live button, you can catch us there. The show's archived on YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube channel, WZOB, on YouTube, you can find us there. Shows are archived, all the past shows. This is episode 18. Is that right, Holly? I think so, maybe. It's all falling apart back there.
Like a storage.
She's got a drinking problem or water.
Here we go, the magical Zelda O'Buttram Studios. That's what we need to name the studio, is Zelda O'Buttram Studios. WZOB, we're glad that you're here. Steve Chambers in studio with me. Welcome, Steve. How you been?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. This day before the 4th of July.
It's hot tomorrow, too, isn't it?
Yesterday was WZOB's 75th anniversary.
That's right.
Is that right?
I know,
okay,
and
I've
I'm
just
terrible.
been informed by Mr. Tim Dobson
I'm not Tim Dobson.
that yesterday was WZOB's 75th anniversary. So I guess Zelda's not around for that, huh?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think she's around
I wouldn't think
town
so.
anymore.
It's a lot of Auburn football, isn't it?
Yeah, Roger Allen actually, Roger's a guy that's been in radio a long time.
Yeah.
He's amazing, actually. He's blind,
Yeah?
but he does his own radio program. Isn't that awesome?
weird.
I know, it's crazy.
Not weird. It's not weird, but
It's-
it is.
but
It's odd.
awesome, yeah.
We'll call it odd. We're not going to call it weird.
Anyway, he texted and said, hey, WZOB has their 75th birthday.
75th birthday.
June was my 50th anniversary.
Okay.
Is that right?
Okay.
I started working in 1975.
You're kidding me.
Tim started working here in 1975. I don't know if y'all can hear him. He's kind of off camera.
He's off mic, but
I'm
we got it.
I'm
So
trying not to be on mic.
yesterday was? Did you say yesterday was?
No, June.
In June.
Yeah.
Was his
So
50th?
the-
about the 75th. I thought,
Yeah.
hey, in 75.
That's
I
wild.
think it was on the 10th of June. I was in here. I started here 50 years ago.
50 years. How does that feel?
50 years
Well,
ago.
50 years
he
ago.
hasn't been here for 50
I hadn't been
years.
here
He had
for 50
to.
years, but
Well, yeah.
He was a prodigal son.
He prodigal son that left,
Left.
went off and eaten the squalor with
Eating
the
the
pigs,
chaff, yeah, and squalor
and
with
then
the pigs.
returned.
And then came on home.
I have returned.
Well, this is
MacArthur on
so. This is Steve's 4th month here, and
Yeah.
so
Sometimes
he's well
it
on
feels
his
like 50 years.
It feels like 50 years.
75 years.
So it is July the 3rd, which means tomorrow we're going to have to get up early in the morning. So this is our Lunch with Bryan and Steve live episode. Next week, I'm going to be on vacation, so we won't have a Lunch with Bryan and Steve that will be live.
Live.
But we are going to record one mañana, tomorrow morning.
Lord willing.
Lord willing, if everything works out there, at Henniker City Park. And we're going to be visiting with at least Nathaniel Ledbetter and Steve Livingston. And then whomever else ends up showing up. Does that mean Tuberville is coming? That's a statewide election. Do we know
I
that?
think so. The big, beautiful bill already passed the Senate, so I guess
So Tuberville can
Senator
come down.
Tuberville will be
Yeah.
able to
Available.
come
The
down.
big,
Available.
beautiful bill, which did not pass last night in the House.
As of midnight, it was tied.
Okay.
So I think they went. And
So
that
that
was
means-
just actually a procedural,
Yeah.
so they could start voting on the real thing.
Okay.
Which President Trump wanted before the 4th of July.
Okay. So is he going to have to rough somebody up?
I think he's in that process right now.
So the as of right now, as of broadcast time today, the big beautiful bill has not passed. But it is Bobby Bonilla Day, or tomorrow is Bobby Bonilla Day.
Well, I think it's every July 1st.
Every July the 1st, which means for those of you, and I saw this on
This is
Facebook.
very similar to the contract you signed with Holly.
Is that right? I get
Because
paid for the next 35
You
years?
retired, and for 35 years on July 1st, you get $1.193 million.
That's crazy.
What?
So how did that, I don't even remember how that happened.
Well, the New York Mets are wondering the same thing. He hasn't played for them in 24 years, and
And he's still having to
getting-
write a check.
Yeah, so that's over. Well, it's over $40 million he's made since retiring from them, and then he's still got
That's still
10 more
pension.
years.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
got a pension, and he's got other things that go along, and I'm sure he's got other investments. But man, 1.193 million per year on July the 4th. The 4th or the 1st? July the 1st. Bobby Bonilla Day. That's crazy. So anyway, glad that you guys are joining us for Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We're in studio today. Our guest is going to be Walter Waltson, current city council member and also running for re-election. So we'll have him in studio. I think he's bringing us some lunch. Isn't
He's
that
all
right?
patriotic.
Is he
right now.
patriotic today?
Did y'all tell him 11 o'clock or 11:30?
Well,
Because he's standing outside.
He's
the
ready
door.
right now. So
He's like, can I come in?
come on in. But we are.
There's a lot of traffic out there if you want to hand out signs. You're a good man, Walt.
So we're excited to have him in studio to talk all things, and we've mentioned this before, and we'll mention it. It's worth mentioning it again. We've got several. So we ran the list this morning of people who've either been on the show or scheduled to be on the show that are running for city council. So we've got down the list Pete Davis. I talked to him yesterday. He's going to be on the show August the 14th. So we got him scheduled. Brian Bain has already been on the show several times. Leslie Vaughn, have not talked to him. Pete Little, have not talked to him. Bo Gentleman was our guest last week. Mike Grant. Coach Camp is going to be, when is he? He is
July
in a couple,
31st.
July 31st. He'll be on the show. So Coach Richard Camp will be on the show. Heather Wooten, Clint Beeson, Walter Watson will be on the show today. Chad Williamson will be on the show the 24th. I was trying to think of the dates because we've got everything laid out there for the next couple of
doing
weeks.
well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ken Mayo, Todd Simpson will be on the show the 17th, the week that we come back from vacation. John Smith has been on the show before. Scotty Vaughn has been on the show. Lynn Brewer has been on the show, and Jeff Young. So those are your candidates, and we have found ourselves, Steve, seemingly at the epicenter of all things Fort Payne municipal elections. Isn't that funny?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
That's right. We are directing traffic on the road to 2025's city leader election. So
We want to give them a platform. And
that's right.
Hey, Walter's brought us lunch, and he wants to
Oh.
go ahead and give it to you guys. I guess
Oh,
so
is that
y'all can
right?
be eating
Eat-
now.
eating now,
and
okay.
Eating now, maybe.
Well, heck, let's
Yeah,
just
okay.
bring it on in
All
here,
right,
Cindy.
Walter, come on in.
Cindy, buying them in. Come on, Walter, you can come on in, and we got to go. Ooh, look at here.
We got fried and grilled.
You got the fried one.
I
Huh?
got the grill.
Did you?
Grilled too?
Well,
watching
I'll
the
eat a
early
fried.
food.
Are you really? So
Treated myself too. I got fried.
There's your grill.
there you go.
Thank you.
So we're excited. So come on in here.
Y'all changed it around since I've been here last week?
No.
A little bit. Yeah,
Uh,
Bryan came in about 15 minutes before air show one day and said, I'm moving this television.
That's true. Yeah, it was over here when you were here, right?
Yes.
He gave you 15 minutes?
I'm exaggerating. It might have been 10 o'clock, but I was like,
Okay.
That's for y'all. One of those is
I
y'all's.
can't believe he's going to
Holly's
make
got one.
changes. Yeah.
Holly got. Did you get a grilled one?
I asked for grilled, but I'll take what I get. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. Appreciate
Man,
you.
that's so nice.
It's
We
lunch.
can actually pay attention
mine.
to you.
That'll be fine. That's fine. We're good. We're good. So, what else Holly's phone's going off.
Sorry, my son is calling me.
You think we'd be a little bit more professional than we are, Steve?
No, you
This is
wouldn't. I like it when she's over there reading Southern Living while we're trying to do a show. She said, at least this is interesting.
So anyway, thanks for everybody, the sponsors of the show. We're going to go through one of those. Will be next segment. We'll have Chris. What are you doing with the son?
I'm trying to click off of my son. There.
Oh, there we go. Now we're back. We'll talk to Chris Dura with Thrive Outdoor next segment of the Garden Tip of the Week. So excited to have him back on the show. We thank you guys for giving us this platform. We have tried to be responsible with it. I think we've mentioned. I know I have mentioned that I have withheld and am going to withhold from endorsing or campaigning for any candidate, because I feel like our responsibility is to ask the questions to the candidates, give them a place to respond, give them a fair interview, and well, hey, we're supposed to be fun. Ain't no sense in like dragging down people in this right, Steve? Unless you want to.
No, I do not want to.
No. We got to live with these people.
That's right.
Mark Malone, our stat stud
Yeah.
on the football, he was relating a story to me how bad politics could get back. If y'all remember when Mayor Jordan and Mayor Stout were running against one another, and there was a recall vote, and Mark was doing his civic duty to be in a recall vote, and it got ugly.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did. And anyway, I'll let him come on and tell us if he wants it told. But he was name dropping left and right.
Was he really?
He was doing this.
Well,
and that.
yeah. And,
But I think it. We may not think it's all that civil right now, but it was like civil war.
listen.
back then.
There's so many different. It's never really that bad. It is. It can feel that bad at times.
Mark might beg to differ from what he was telling today.
But we are excited to bring you guys information. I think it's a great platform for candidates to get out there, what their view is on things, to answer questions, and so we'll get to Mr. Waltson here just shortly. But we're gonna. Is it getting time for a break, Holly? I don't know.
No, y'all got about 4
We have
minutes,
got,
and you got things on the list
That
here. I'm
clock is
looking
in
at.
another time zone.
Yeah, don't look at that clock. That's just
all right,
birds.
yeah, you don't look at the clock. So anyway, here. So you see the list down there. Let me ask you this, Steve. You're probably going to know this, but Holly, I've got a list of 4 words down there.
A list of 4 words where?
Really difficult words. All right, here we go. Semi-quincentennial,
Okay.
sesquicentennial, bisequicentennial, and that's not a transgender term,
No, but
and
Not being politically correct.
millennium. Any
Okay.
idea, Steve, what all that means?
semi is half, right?
Half, quin.
Quin is 4, right? Something like that. Quin, semi,
The
quintennial.
state's about to celebrate the
Quintennial.
and
Quintennial.
Get you a running start on that word.
I need Mr. Stevens.
Okay.
Our 7th
So,
grade.
yes.
You know?
So tomorrow being the 4th of July, it is our country's
49th.
249th birthday.
That's right.
So 1 year
I'm
from
a
now,
bicentennial baby.
is that right?
That's right.
I
That's
remember
how
So you'll be-
celebrating the bicentennial
Yeah.
as a upcoming senior in high school. But go
The
ahead.
year Holly was born. So next year,
Yes.
America's 250th birthday. That's 4
Yeah.
ways to say 250.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
yeah, I was really confused.
4 ways. I looked it up,
Yeah, that's
means that's accurate.
all of those.
If
Quarter
you did
millennium.
research. This is pretty.
Yeah, that's
serious.
That's true. I know. It's
Walter
shocking.
knew that, didn't you?
Semi-quincentennial, sesquicentennial. Sester, I've never heard that.
Sister.
Sester.
I don't know what sester is.
Sestercentennial, and bisesquicentennial. So what would that be? What sesquicent?
Bi, meaning you
Meaning
don't divide it
two.
in two, like 2.
Sesquicentennial, millennium is the easiest thing.
Yeah, that's easy.
I can figure that one out.
50, 1/4.
Yeah.
1/4 of a millennium.
Picturing you coming out.
Well, I started to panic because I had written the intro to tonight's fireworks.
Oh, yeah, you're doing the fireworks. You excited about that?
We're not actually doing the fireworks.
No,
Pyro
I'm sorry.
Shows is doing.
You're not going to light any of them?
No, we're not.
You
lighting.
should go over there and say, just let me do
You
one.
can run around with a Roman
No,
candle.
in fact, no, because for the last few years we've been down there with pyro shows because we have the music, so you can tune in to the radio station and hear the
It's
music.
synchronized?
It's synchronized.
Yeah.
It makes it even
Ooh.
that much better.
Can we do that?
We? Like
No, I
me?
mean,
No,
the
I
station
can't.
Can do that?
Yes, we do that. In fact, Tim will be at the complex tonight, and if you're at the complex, they will play the music over the radio so that you get
That's
all
cool.
your eyes and ears are all
That's
buzzing
given
out.
me an idea that I want to talk to you about at some point.
Okay.
So,
Well, anyways, I had a point to this.
music tonight. You're going to be
Music
at the.
I always sneak
Oh,
into the
well,
stadium during this.
I don't know. I have no idea what my point was.
It's okay.
I'm usually
Neither does-
down at. I'm usually underneath. Like
We're
I'm sitting down
synchronized,
there
yeah.
with them to
Under
make
the-
sure.
under the fireworks.
Yeah, under the fireworks to make sure
You
that
get showered with the sparks.
Do you feel it?
actually
You'll turn around. You'll get little.
we have
ashy
to
stuff
wear
all over you.
head. We have to wear a head protection, like a helmet and glasses, because it's
Do you have
dangerous.
a
bet
fire
it is.
extinguisher?
Um,
Just be a fireman tonight. a
they
firefighter
probably
tonight.
do because they have to go and stomp out.
Is
all
it a little
the-
nervous? Do you get nervous at it?
No, I don't get nervous.
Okay.
These guys know what they're doing. They do it all
Well,
the
that doesn't
time.
mean. I mean,
Lynn
people know what
Broad,
they're
he's
doing.
great.
You ever watch just YouTube?
Well,
firework
we are
problems?
far, far away from the fireworks thing. It's done
Okay.
computer, and they have, it. Yeah,
Cool.
it's
In
really
the same
cool.
launch area as usual.
Yes, across the street from Little River, and nobody.
Little Ridge.
I mean Little Ridge.
Well, if you could get to Little River, that'd be
Sorry.
be a heck of a fireworks show. All right, we got to take a break. We're going to take our first break, lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be back with the Thrive Outdoor Garden Tip of the Week. Chris Durr will join us on the phone. We'll be right back.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is Paul Crawford from The Locals, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB.
Hello, this is Mike Shirey with the Fort Payne Improvement Authority. As we approach the 4th of July holiday, FPIA encourages everyone to embrace and acknowledge the freedom we enjoy across our great country. This freedom came with great sacrifice, and we never should take this for granted. We at FPIA wish everyone an enjoyable holiday celebration with family and friends. Remember to keep your celebration safe and exercise caution and follow proper safety guidelines when lighting fireworks. Especially be aware of your surroundings and stay away from power lines. From your friends at the Fort Payne Improvement Authority, have a safe and happy 4th of July.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Bryan Northcutt, Steve Chambers in studio.
Let me move the wrench.
Let me move the-
from
Walter has
Chris.
brought us lunch, and so we're excited to have him here. Chris, you there?
I'm here.
All right, let me set up the segment and let me finish swallowing this piece of bread.
That's a broadcast no, by the way. Just
It's
saying.
a really bad broadcast, no, but then again, we do a lot of those. So
Yeah,
It's endearing.
that's
it
true.
is. It's very,
We do have a
that's what we just say.
Every time we mess up, it's endearing.
It's endearing to people. It makes them think that they could do the show as well.
They know they can.
I guarantee you there's at least half a dozen people who do this show better than we do it. But
Oh,
Half a
at
dozen.
least like
Six.
everybody.
okay.
Okay.
$500,000.
Just in Fort Payne. I'm not talking about like worldwide.
Oh, okay,
Worldwide.
okay.
I'm just saying Fort Payne.
Yeah.
But if they could, they would be, right? So it's Thrive Outdoor. Thank you for Thrive Outdoor being a sponsor of Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Glad that you guys are on board. Lee Buffington and everybody down at Thrive Outdoor. You got to get the logo up, Holly.
I'm
Garden
sorry.
tip of the week.
Yeah.
Got too many irons in the fire.
I know. This is
So Mr. Walter Waltson has brought us some lunch, and
wrong
so we're
one.
trying to, which is terrible. We need more commercials so that we can eat a little bit more than just a few bites
Can
before.
you sing? We'll let you sing and then we can eat it.
I'll back up. You sing, I'll back you up.
Oh, you don't want that. That's not a good plan.
All right, Chris Dura here with the Thrive Outdoor Garden Tip of the Week. Chris, what's going on, my man?
Hey, brothers, how are y'all doing?
We are here, enjoying life,
I am,
loving this heat.
Oh, loving it. I'm on my way back from Huntsville after doing little photography sessions for Thrive Outdoor.
There you go. How'd
I'm a
it
jack
go?
of all trades, Steve.
You certainly are. It's very impressive. So you're doing this and driving?
No, I pulled over in Scottsboro just to talk to you guys because
you're
y'all are awesome.
fantastic.
Oh, I'd have to drive through Scottsboro. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so you got some pictures done, and you got us a garden tip of the week. Is it how to stay cool and hydrated while you're out cutting your grass?
Yeah, I wish. It's about how to take a towel with you and wipe the sweat off your brow.
There you go. It is hot. Good night. It's hot.
Yeah, garden tip of the week. We've talked about planting plants. We've talked about watering your plants, especially in this heat with no rain. We've talked about the bugs, watching for bugs. If you noticed, everybody's crepe myrtles are starting to bloom. So Japanese beetles are loving all those blooms. So just watch your plants for the Japanese beetles. The garden tip, though, would be trimming your plant material. A lot of people love to trim their plants like little globes. They love to round them off, shear them, and make them look nice and smooth like a garden in London.
Okay. Yes, I've seen that a lot of that.
I was just thinking about that the other day.
Of course, for us horticulturists, sometimes that can make our heads explode. I've
Really?
seen if you've seen like red Japanese maples, a real beautiful tree, I've seen them shaped like a mushroom.
And so is that just a preference, or is there a problem with that from a health
Well,
standpoint?
horticulturally, there's a problem with that. A lot of people just like a manicured, smooth look on any plant in their yard, which can be fine. Depending on your choice. There's different ways of pruning things, but what I was going to say with your tip of the week is I would not recommend doing it now. When you start trimming your plants now, unless they're just absolutely wiry, you're going to stress out the plant with this lack of water and hot sun. And of course, that leads to disease and a lack of nutrients because all their work now is to replace what you just cut off and start growing again. So that stresses out the plant. So unless you're just doing it for the 4th of July, try to refrain. I mean, most hollies can take, like not Miss Holly, but most holly, the plant, can take a lot of cutting back and trimming and that kind of caretaking. But when you deal with like yellow bells and roses, or what I call wiry plants or loose plants, you want to what we call selective prune, which means you want to use a hand pruner. Reach down in there in the bush of the plant, cut out those long shoots that you don't like to try to maintain the shape and trim it like that.
Okay. Or could you just give the plant some counseling if it's stressed and let it go that direction?
You could and subscribe it some antidepressant medicine.
That's right. I mean, medicate it for a little while until it has a chance to go through therapy and fix the problem.
Don't people talk to their plants and say that they do better when they? And Walter is shaking his head. Yes, they do.
So is that Chris? Give me some research, some data research on that. Does that work?
I wish I could spit that out. I wish that was a class they taught at Auburn was music and vocal.
Yeah.
The music and vocal for plant material.
All right. Well, do you think it works?
They say it does. It can't hurt. I think it makes both people feel better. I think it makes the human feel better.
So it's therapy for the human, not the plant, right?
Yes. I don't know of sound waves that work. I'm sure that has something to do with what goes on inside a plant. There's not a course for that, so I can't tell you.
Well, everything's based off of frequency. Don't you know that? It's all the magnetic pulses of the universe.
Right,
and
you're
frequency.
grounded.
That's right. That's why you get grounding in and all that kind of stuff, and sunlight and vitamin D and all that ties into the earth. Which God created. So that's God's creation. So don't take it too far.
Well, for you and Steve and Miss Holly, I just got back from actually visiting the crews over at Milton Frank Stadium in Huntsville. You familiar with that stadium?
Yeah, last time we were there, we won last time
we lost to Lee.
Was that the last time?
Fort Payne lost to Lee the last time.
I felt like we were there again, though. Is that the last time? I guess so. Yeah, that was not a fun night.
You're at Lewis Crew Stadium since then, maybe.
I don't know.
In Huntsville.
That was a rough night. That was
yes, it was
painful. So the
2 years ago, we played. We were at A&M, the A&M to do Mae Jemison. Sitting in that press box was fun too.
Yeah, we go back there this year too. We go back to Mae. I think it's Mae Jemison's at home there. Yeah, so your crews were there.
We played Mae Jemison there.
All right. So you checking on the crews?
So other than that, stay hydrated, folks. It's hot, and don't want. I guess another tip is don't water your plant in the middle of the day. It just evaporates right off. You want to water early in the morning, if you can. Late at night, do not do it in the middle of the day. It'll just evaporate right off.
All right, let me ask you this question: how long are you going to keep doing Garden Tip of the Week? Can you come up? I mean, I just mean from a data standpoint. Like, you got enough of these? I just lost Chris.
He hung up on me.
All right,
okay,
Chris.
I guess that's it. I don't like that question.
I don't like that question. I think I'm out.
That's an answer right there.
Next question, Bryan.
You couldn't have planned that better.
I mean, is he going to call back? I don't.
Well, I mean,
I just lost
we got
him.
like 6 minutes, but
I mean,
that is hysterical.
I'll see if he calls back. That's interesting. So you think you can talk to plants?
I talk to him a lot after council meetings.
And that's therapy for you. Right? Yeah.
We've had Japanese beetles on our rose bushes, and they don't like liquid 7 dust. You know, that's just a little extra there for you.
Little Steve Chambers Garden Tip of the Week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna assume that Chris will call if he can call back. That was interesting. So here we go. There, we got him.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry I offended you, Chris, with that question.
I guess so. Well, I don't know if it was you or I'm in a fancy company truck and it all just shut down. So I don't know if it ended my call or not. It's just all went blank here.
So you weren't upset with the question?
So it wasn't just a frustration with being on Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
No, I think it was just a fancy truck shutdown thing.
Okay.
That's funny.
So are you going to be able to keep doing Garden Tips of the Week? You got a bunch of these? Because I would run out like after 6 weeks.
There's always a bunch of stuff. And again, listeners, whoever's listening or watching the podcast, if you got any personal questions about particular plants that you have, send them to Bryan and Steve, and we'll address those on the air.
Put them in the comments below.
Yes, put it in the comments on our Facebook feed, and I would think it'd be fun for them to ask a question, and Steve and I try to answer it first.
Yes.
And then we bring the expert in. So, because I could give some really good sound advice when it comes.
Put Martha on speed dial. She's the gardener of the family.
Well, good. So summer's rocking and rolling. Everything good with the family, Chris?
Rock and rolling. My youngest son, Ben, just turned 11 on July 1st. Happy late birthday to Ben.
And happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
And happy Bonilla Day to Ben.
And happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Hey, will we be doing this toward the end of the month? Because I have a birthday toward the end of this month.
Absolutely. We'll wish you a happy birthday. I think we got some Lake Winnipesaukee tickets you can have, too, for your birthday.
There you go.
Is that right, Holly?
Have you got one more beach trip planned before football season in the middle of August?
Man, I wish, but I have a teacher for a wife, so she's busy now till school starts.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, good. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank Lee and everybody at Thrive Outdoor for Garden Tip of the Week and sponsoring Lunch with Bryan and Steve. And you have a safe trip back from Scottsboro.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good one.
Okay. See you, Chris. Bye-bye. All right. The Chris Durr with Thrive Outdoor Garden Tip of the Week. Thanks, you guys, for Thrive for sponsoring Lunch with Bryan and Steve. And got our garden tip of the week to don't cut back your plants too much or you're going to stress them. And then you're going to have to go to counseling, and then it's going to get real expensive. You have to do therapy, stuff like that. They may sue you, and they're going to go and talk about you in front of their friends and everything.
Then they run for city council.
And then they're going to run for which is the ultimate sign of mental illness. So, no.
Walter said, I don't disagree.
You have to be kind of a glutton for punishment.
You really do.
You do. Or I don't know. You
Anybody
like
that would
controversy. What
anybody
is
that would
that?
watch this and say, you know what, I'll take a little bit of that.
Well,
You got to have a little bit of something wrong with you.
Or you just don't like to complain. You actually want to try to get in there and solve problems. That's you know.
Yeah, speaking of solving problems, are you okay over there?
I'm.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Walter's voice. I want Walter to be able to
it's
speak
not working?
next
Is it-
segment.
is
No,
this-
no. I just don't have him plugged in yet. Anyway,
Okay.
go ahead. Don't
All right.
quit.
Well, I think it's time to
Only
take...
you can see me. You don't have to tell the world. I'm just saying. Okay.
It's distracting.
Let's go to.
Yeah,
A
let's-
little disheveled today.
I am a little disheveled today.
We will take a
Why
commercial
would
break.
that
We'll be right back. We have Walter Waltson already in studio, and we'll talk with him right after this. You're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
When you need to give something special, visit Tracy's in North Fort Payne. Beautiful floral arrangements, fresh or silk, stylish jewelry, scented candles and pampering products, cuddly stuffed animals, balloons, and candy. Tracy can help you put together the perfect gift and gourmet basket. Potted plants or hanging baskets with fresh spring flowers. At Tracy's, you're sure to find that unique gift that shows just how much you care. Tracy's is located at 2103 Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 and Saturdays from 9 to noon. For every occasion, visit Tracy's full-service florist, personalized printing, and gifts. DeKalb Fix-It Appliance Warehouse is a mouthful, so Terry and Bobby have decided to drop the fix-it and focus on giving you the best prices on new appliances. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Amana, LG, Samsung, GE, and more. Up to 75% off retail price on new, scratched and dent appliances. And as your Electrolux and Frigidaire dealer, DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is passing on more savings to you with even more new in-box selections. Need a refrigerator? Come in today and shop our overstocked warehouse. You will not get a better deal anywhere. We guarantee to match or beat any price. In-house service available to all as well. Used appliances will now be available at our previous location on Godfrey Avenue, along with the same computer sales and repairs our customers have come to enjoy. The DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is open weekdays 9 to 5, Wednesdays and Saturdays 9 to 2, located on Airport Road in Fort Payne.
Hi, this is Bryan Jett, Superintendent for Fort Payne City Schools, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Bryan Northcutt, Steve Chambers in studio, episode number 18. We have with us Mr. Walter Waltson. Welcome back to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Return visit.
It's good to be here.
Well, we're so glad that you came and joined us. We were just talking about off air. Hey, guys, listen. I actually do attempt to try to act somewhat professional, but it's so distracting with all the insanity that goes on around here. And I'm not blaming. I'm just saying I can't.
I'm just agreeing with you.
When you're looking for something, I'm desperately wanting you to find it, and so I'm like, "What's going on over there? Can I help?" I know I'm broadcasting a radio show right now.
Oh, you can't help it.
And we keep slinging the endearing term around.
Yeah.
I think there may be just a little bit of truth, but I do really try to be professional because I would like to. But there's part of this that it's just impossible. Like it's me, and I can't ever not be me. So I don't know how to do that anymore.
At least you have a professional voice.
Well, I apologize for not
Sound like an
waiting.
animal with
For not waiting
caught in a
until
trap.
commercial. To
And
start
so we've got this
serving.
food sitting right here that I am going to wait until the commercial break to try to eat some of, but it's totally distracting to have this sitting right here
At
Very nice of
lunchtime.
you.
at lunchtime.
thank
And very
you,
nice of
Walter.
Walter to bring that for us. And we won't tell where it came from because they're not a sponsor of Lunch with Bryan and Steve. If they sponsor the show, we'll definitely mention it.
That's right.
But it's a very good salad, and I'm going to enjoy it. So anyway, well, welcome back. Good to have you looking very patriotic today with your American flag shirt on. You ready for the 4th of July?
Getting ready for the celebration. It starts tonight.
That's right.
We got to be there at 4:30 in the hot sun. So
it's going to be warm.
Handing out hot dogs and cokes like
it will be there, but you have to purchase it from the concession stand.
Okay.
Oh, it's not free now.
It's not free.
The American flag's free.
Yes, we'll be giving away little tokens there at the gate, so looking forward to
we
it.
being Walter Watson, or we being the city of Fort
The
Payne?
council will start it off.
Okay.
And then we'll probably pass it on to some of the other employees there.
Okay.
Just want to say hello to everybody and give them a little trinket.
Yeah.
Hopefully the adults won't take it away from the kids, so I'll be trying to put it in the kids' hand and shake hands with the adults, but because it's a little toy type thing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's pretty cool.
So tell us, running for city council for re-election, what's the difference in, just to start off, let's just have a little bit of fun. The last time you ran and this time you ran, what's the biggest difference that you've noticed running as an incumbent versus running for, well, at that time was for the first time, but you've run before.
Yeah.
So what was the difference in that election and this election?
I think social media has added something to it that's a little different twist. We try to do everything we can to get information out, but it seems like somehow the information that's actually truthful kind of gets twisted a little bit.
Yeah.
And so just trying to correct
Twist it
that.
a little bit.
Twist it a little bit.
That's a good way
Is
to
that
put
a
it.
nice, or are you trying to?
Yeah. But it makes the part I like is campaigning, is actually talking to people.
Yeah.
And, I don't ask for their vote. I ask them to tell me what they're thinking, and then we'll talk about voting afterwards. But right now I want to know what you're thinking, and then some of the same questions arise and you give them the factual information. And it's always good to hear them say, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So trying to get the information out that's factual has been different this time. So maybe people are paying more attention. So I hope that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they should ask questions. Facebook is a good place to go, but I like FaceTime.
Oh,
Where
you go.
Where we actually
That
talking.
should be in everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you had gray hair 5 years ago.
I didn't. When I started out, my hair was
a young man.
Yeah, a young man. And one thing too, I really remember about that time when I came in, I did not know how to do it.
Yeah.
I did not proclaim to know how to do it, but there was individuals there that mentored me and taught me how to do it, and I think that means a lot.
Yeah.
Understanding that you may think you understand what it's about, but until you get in there, it's a whole different story.
What do you think is maybe, there's probably several, but one hot button issue that misinformation is guiding the conversation, and you want to clarify or
yeah. One is the city is broke.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
People
like,
just wanna fight
oh wow,
over that.
that's amazing.
That is a very, that's out there a lot.
It's out there. So I like to get in front of them because being the president of council this time, I have to really research stuff. I can't just make decisions and put my finger in there. And you have to really do a lot of data digging and research. So that information is just the knowledge you have. You want to share it with people.
Right.
But when you see these things coming out and saying, no, it's like this, I can't wait to get in front of those people, to say, no, this is how it is.
Okay.
So the question is then if they trust me.
Okay.
So that misinformation piece causes people to doubt.
Okay.
And I think the individuals that are there have to understand that's part of it. It's not that the people shouldn't do that.
Right.
But honesty and integrity is top of my list.
Yeah.
You want to show spreadsheets and bank accounts and prove your point.
Yeah.
But you can't really do that.
You can't really do it. So I sum
Maybe
it up.
spreadsheets, but not bank accounts.
I try to sum it up in like 4 quadrants when I talk to people. I say like we have a budget, and then we have 3 buckets or financial cabinets that we look at. Okay, the first bucket would be general fund.
Okay.
Okay, that's where you pay your bills from. Okay, the average amount goes out of that is about 2.7 million a month. Coming in is about 3 million a month. So that's what you have average coming in and out.
General fund meaning the day-to-day operations of the city.
Day-to-day operation
Okay.
and where you put all the funding. And then you have the second bucket, which is there's all sorts of grant money you can get for projects that we need to maintain Fort Payne. Okay, so Fort Payne is not in hey, let's do a new project. most of the things we've done this time is maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sports complex maintenance. It's a new facility, but you had to replace the one that was there. Okay.
Yeah.
So going into that, the second bucket would be funds, matching funds. Okay. So there's a ceiling. How much do we need in that? And the third one would be where we invest in the money market. So we want this money to make money.
Right.
So when they say the city of Fort Payne is broke, looking at the budget is just a projection that we put out and saying this is where we want to end up. It's not really, it's a document that moves in its projection, but it has nothing to do with, well, it has somewhat to do, but the general fund is really what you have to look at to see if the city is broke. I think there was a document that went out and a lot of people was talking about, look right here, it says the city has $362,000 they're in debt. You know, all that was a snapshot at time of where we were. We're planning on ending the year probably about $1 million, a little under, over.
In surplus.
What's the fiscal year for the city?
Is it January?
The fiscal year starts in October.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
October 1st.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that's the city school system.
Yeah.
Same, I believe.
Yeah. So when you look at the total budget, and what I really get a good nod from the people that I talk to is when they say, well, what does this say? This says the city is 362. No, the question is, if you didn't have that $362,000 to pay, we just hit $5 million in general fund. Okay, that's pretty good. That's not where I want to end up. I want to end up at like 8.1 million in general fund, which is 3 times the amount that we actually need to go in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have that surplus and be strong there. So then they say, oh, it doesn't mean that we're broke. No, they're saying to our budget that we projected, where are we at this time?
Yeah.
And we paid a lot of bills there. So that means in this month we wanted to be right here. But all these bills that came in, it caused us to be right here. So now we're building it back.
So what do you think creates that perception or that popular, I don't say popular, but the people who adhere to that and go, yeah, I can see that. And to be fair, there are a lot of projects going on. So you see dollars being spent out in the city, paving roads and all this kind of stuff. But what creates the perception that because of that, now the city doesn't have enough money to pay its liabilities, or it's spending too much money here or there or everywhere? What creates that perception, do you think? Do you have any idea or any concept?
I'd say misinformation.
Okay.
You know, it's you know, like I said, when I first ran, I did not try to go in and understand or try to take the data that was there and try to understand it. You know, I knew I had the opportunity to go in and learn how to read it before I would try to explain it to you. Right. So, you know, this cycle has been a little bit different. You know, it seems like, you know, there's more trying to say, hey, here's what's wrong, rather than talking about what's right. The council that comes after this one will benefit from the things that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you get in there and do things. It's like a 4-year delay, almost.
Yeah.
You know, so the things that we're doing now that we just didn't get out and just blow our horns. We just put our heads down and went to work, and we started doing things. So that's what I see. So in my mind, I'm hoping that we can get the information out to the voting populace so we can select a good team. Because Fort Payne is going in a good direction. We just need to increase our general fund. We need to increase our investment fund, and we need to let the CDs, the money market funds, continue to grow too. And we're close to $5 million in the money market, which is making about $530 a day in interest. Okay. So you want to let that go. You don't want to touch that. So if we're really broke, that means we're in that pot.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're not in that pot. You want to leave that alone. And please, everybody, be sure that this next group understands that you're not supposed to bother that.
Do you have a city employee dedicated to writing grants, or is that just delegated?
Grant writing is done by lobbyists that we have in Washington right now. One of the young ladies is from Fort Payne.
Miss Scruggs.
Used
to be Scruggs.
Yeah.
Shannon.
She's Campagna is her name. So
Okay.
yeah, try to say that 3 times. But they're doing an excellent job. They can find as many grants to help us maintain this city as we can have matching funds for. That's why the need for that second bucket is there. because the sports complex, the gym, 30 years old. It's got to be replaced one day, pretty soon. So when you look at that, it's like planning for the future is really important. So, and that's what we're doing now. We're planning for the future. Maybe we need to toot our horn a little bit more.
You talking about the gym at the high school, the new one?
Or the rec center?
The rec center.
The rec center gym.
The rec center gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's,
Okay.
it comes a time that we'll have to replace it. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll be right back. We got to take a commercial break. We'll have Walter Waltson in studio. We'll be right back with more Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
My Supply is my hometown hardware store. At My Supply, I never have to wander aimlessly around the store looking for what I need. I know that when I walk through the door, I'm going to be greeted by a person and helped right away. So whether you're looking for plumbing, electrical, hand or power tools, welding supplies, standard or metric fasteners, or anything else to help with your home projects and repairs, shop My Supply on Godfrey Avenue in Northeast Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. My Supply, your hometown hardware store.
Do you need to declutter? Wish you could free up some valuable space at work or home? Helium Mini Storage has climate control units available, and all their units are gated for maximum protection. You can also store your stuff at home with their Four Seasons or Max Steel storage buildings for sale. Just come by Helium Mini Storage on Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And while you're there, be sure to check out play sets for the kids. Store your stuff with Helium Mini Storage.
This is Mark Malone, the favorite statistician of Bryan, Steve, Chris, and Holly, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Rawson Pools is eliminating every reason why you can't have your very own. No cash on hand? There's financing available at Rawson Pools. Ground too rocky? Rawson Pools is installing hybrid above-ground pools with 14-gauge steel panels, making it more durable and cost-effective than your average above-grounder. Check out their Facebook page to see what 30 years of pool installation experience can give you. Call 256-638-5904 to take the plunge. And always visit Rawson Pool and Supply Store in Rainsville for all your pool supply and accessory needs. Rawson Pools, the pool professionals.
All right, Lunch with Bryan and Steve back in studio, episode 18. Speaking with Walter Waltson, that's a little bit hot now, Holly.
Well, you weren't paying attention to me. So I just thought I would turn up the
Really?
music.
Me not paying attention?
You were not listening.
You sound like my wife.
Y'all go back and forth giving each other the cold shoulder here. It's really uncomfortable.
So we're just having a conversation. Do we want to do it?
Let's do it, man.
Okay.
It's on people's minds.
Honesty and transparency is always going to be, I think, it's supposed to always be better, but we're going to find out. So you mentioned it in break, so why don't you talk about it?
We're looking at, I'm right now in an academy that the League of Municipalities is putting on, and it teaches us what the trends are with industrial development and retail development. And those strategies are quite different. A lot of people talk about what Arborville is doing and how they're being successful. Well, they're being successful because they are willing to invest $200 million in the growth of their city. So when we look at that model, we say that's what we want to do too. But we have to understand, what do we need to start that program? And of course, the whole Food City conversation comes up. I try to tell people when they say, you gave Food City $3 million. I say, no, we invested $3 million in it. So the idea with investing money is the return on the investment. Right. So we track that. Now, one of the things that really I didn't like when our city treasurer and our clerk told us that we couldn't know the amount of money that it was bringing in, because we didn't want to cannibalize, our current market. It had to be more coming in. So what we did was they told me that I couldn't know the amount. So it was illegal for me to know the amount.
That would come in every year on your investment.
No, I can know that, but I couldn't tell you how much they brought in, nor could I tell you how much this store brought in, nor could I tell you how much this store brings in. And I didn't like it, so I called the League of Municipalities to check for myself. And they said, you need to stay away from that because you can be sued, and it won't be the city that's being sued, it'll be you that's being sued. So all I can say on that is our records are showing right now that Food City projected they will bring in a certain amount of money, which is like $500,000 a year. We're well on track to achieve that goal. Not cannibalizing the current industry. It has to be above that. It can't be 500,000.
It's shifted.
The
pie's growing
right.
versus the pie's shifting
right.
where it gets delivered to.
Right. So, I mean, I enjoy, my preference is Bruce's. I shop at Bruce's up there where I live. So I enjoy going in, you know.
I do too.
You know, yeah. I enjoy going in there occasionally, but every time I go down the other way, their parking lot is full and the other parking lot is full too. So I'm going like, wow, that data was right. People, when other industries come in and other retail comes in, it doesn't really affect it. And these people that come in, they understand that when they came in. So there again, that's one of those things that you just have to trust me, because honesty is what I go by, and that's the information that I see. Not only did we know that would happen, but it would bring in other industry. It will start a chain reaction that people will start to look at Fort Payne to invest their money in. Mm-hmm. So there's two ways that we can maintain Fort Payne. Either we keep raising sales tax, or we bring the markets that people are shopping at here, and the people shop here.
Okay.
So that was like a magnet store. And believe it or not, out of all the cities around us, we invested the least amount. I think Gaston was like 6.7 million.
For their Food City?
Mm-hmm.
At the mall?
At the mall.
Okay.
And
I saw that. I forgot. I've seen that store. Yeah.
Huntsville was like 9 million. Of course, they had 6 stores, and they got more people that moved through there.
Huntsville's got a lot of resources.
Yeah. I think Athens was like 2.7 million. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have just used a tax incentive where you spread it out over 15 years and you end up paying a whole lot more than the upfront money. But I thought we should just pay it off and start getting the money really quick. So that last payment will be made to the developer, not Food City, to the developer this August.
Okay.
And now, but we're already bringing in revenue from that. So we're already doing that. So not only that, but we've got investors that's looking at us right now that's what we wanted. We wanted people to look at Fort Payne, to bring their businesses here so we could actually profit from them as well. The only thing about it, the market has changed some. The investors have gotten smart. They're saying, you got to have skin in the game too. So old school used to be they just come. Mm-hmm. But the way the trend is now in the state of Alabama, you have to have investments as well.
From a city perspective.
From the city perspective. They want to know that your people are going to support them, and if the council, the governing body, supports them, then they feel comfortable about it.
So I think, and I may be wrong, because I catch snippets of the arguments, and this is, I tend towards macroeconomics, looking at a national level. So this is not micro, but on a city level, the argument I see the most is, well, you're just giving this developer money or whatever. So what would be the determining factor to go, okay, this is worth the city's investment, or over here this is not worth the city's investment? How do you make that decision to know that Food City was worth it, but store Z isn't worth it? How does that process work itself out? Have you had others that you've had to say, no, we can't do that right now? Because I know that's going to end up being, well, you're cherry picking one versus another. How do you respond to that?
There again, it's the return on the investment.
Okay.
So there's a model that we use, but the ROI is important. So we have to understand that. So there's a lot of negotiations that goes on ahead of the announcement.
Right.
So people are saying, I heard something was coming, and we can't say anything because we're not sure they're coming, and we're had negotiated to the full extent.
Yep.
So, and then the 772 is there. So we actually sue ourselves to be sure that we're not crazy, and we take it before our court system. And they look at it and says, well, according to this data, this is a good use of the funds. So I think with that though, one of the things that I would love to have done with all of our locals is have something that we could help them with as well. Because I think the deal is we didn't get a chance to help some of the locals because we didn't have 772 there, but now we have it. And I think we use
now, did you say what 772 is?
772 is legislation that's passed by the state that allows us to enter into these negotiations with retail.
Okay.
If you didn't have that, you couldn't use taxpayers' dollars to do that. So that shows you if the Alabama state legislator has came up with this plan, they're trying to grow Alabama, and this is what they know that the contractors are saying. I can't bill what you want for this amount.
Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah.
And so that's all over.
Okay.
So if my math's correct, and I'm not the math teacher here,
I'm not either.
invested $3 million. And if you're getting 500,000 or more a year, it would be your return on investment would be within 6 years.
Right. If we hit that model that Food City projected and that we looked at when we said we think this is a good deal, if we hit that, like I said, I can't tell you that we have by number, but what I gather is we're on track. We're on track to achieving that. Not only that, we're attracting other industry. You're hearing about Marshalls and something else, and there's other people that are saying, I want to come, I want to come, I want to come. And so now we can actually say, we don't want you. We need this.
So that Marshalls is going into the shopping center on the south end.
That's correct.
And is that a Five Below going there as well?
Five Below is going there as well.
Are those a direct result of the Food City process?
It's how investors look at the growth of a city. So when they look at it, Aberville, for instance, the gentleman that invested $40 million of his money for the entertainment park, he saw that the city was going forward and that the traffic was picking up. So he said, hey, now's the time for me to invest what I've been wanting to do, my dream. And a local person invested $40 million.
Okay.
So we look at our movie theaters and say we want a skating rink.
Okay, here we
go.
It
all comes back to the movie theater.
People want a movie theater.
You want a movie theater, but the exit interview from some of the current people that we have saying that there's not enough to support it.
Not enough people.
There's not enough patronage. There's not enough patrons, people that are going there and using it to support. I may go there if the movie I want to see is there.
Yeah, if they'd make something worth it. Darn.
Steve, watch out.
Yeah. But when you do that, that's a $6 million gamble.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want investors to feel like in Fort Payne that we want you to come here. The city can't do it, but investors can. So the growth, the paving of the road, the middle Highway 11 through there, and nice paved sidewalk projects, these things attract people to Fort Payne. And when they come through, they say, Fort Payne's on the move. I think I want to be there.
You got to have the infrastructure first.
That's right.
And what about the sidewalk controversy of Christmas time and all that? You want to?
That was
That's in the past now.
Yeah, that was learning. I learned a lot from that.
Okay.
It's important that when we're doing something downtown, because our goal is to help them, never to do anything to not help them, but just meeting with them. I learned some things. One of the guys was talking about the fourth quarter, that there are certain periods of time of year that they do better.
Right.
And so we didn't plan it around that time. We were just glad that the state was going to do it. It just happened to fall.
Okay. So y'all did not schedule that.
No, we didn't.
Could you have stopped it?
Well, what we did was, since we had it, we didn't want to stop it when they said they were coming with it.
But you changed it around.
We changed it around to better. So the idea is continual process improvement. You always want to improve the process. Meeting with people and having a conversation with them can actually give you information that you may be able to use.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad. I think we should have more communication like that. We just should understand, okay, we made it through it, and the sidewalks are there, and the fourth quarter, they did pretty good in those quarters. So the end result is what I'm looking at, not so much looking back and saying, oh, people were screaming. They weren't really screaming. They were just adamant about possibly losing business.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can say for Walter is that you're willing to take the heat. You're willing to have some arrows fired at you and to answer questions and not be afraid to go back in. So I certainly can't deny that.
And I still have my senior discount at Foodland. but I want all stores to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Holly, it was time for a top of the hour break. We'll take a break. Lunch with Bryan and Steve, speaking with Walter Waltson here in studio, and we'll be right back right after this.
So long.
Cheers.
Adios.
Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you.
More and more people are saying goodbye to pests with Safe Solutions Plus LLC. And it's no wonder with their top-notch customer service, quality products, and lower prices. And now with their new website, it's never been easier to manage your pest control service with Safe Solutions Plus. Just visit sspestandtermite.com to view your billing details, make payments online, and review past services. Family-owned and operated, Safe Solutions Plus is located at 934 Main Street West in Rainsville. Call 256-638-7378. Safe Solutions Plus, protecting homes and businesses one solution at a time.
Okay then. Bye.
This is Chris Sturra, the voice of the Fort Payne Wildcats. You're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. I'd love to join them, but some of us have real jobs to get to.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson's owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is WZOB Fort Payne, 100.9 FM and 1250 AM.
All right, we're back. Second hour of... am I too loud, Holly?
Look again.
Second hour of Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Sorry, I was finishing my bite. I'm good. We're good now.
I know. I was trying to remove. I was like, how can I get him out of the camera? I mean, nobody wants to see you shoveling that stuff in your face.
It's endearing, Steve.
It's endearing. I'm struggling with that one a little bit.
I'm going to use that.
Bryan.
Lunch with Bryan and Steve in studio. Walter Waltson with us, episode 18. We do have a segment sponsor. Let's go ahead and do First Fidelity Bank. Miss Holly, if you'll put their logo behind me.
If I can find it.
Please, if you don't mind.
Get the attention off of me right now while I swallow the rest of this food. Steve Eberhard and all the ladies at First Fidelity Bank. Thank you guys for being a sponsor of Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We appreciate your sponsorship. You guys, First Fidelity is a full-service bank with locations in downtown Fort Payne and Rainsville and Eider. So you guys go down and if you need loans or bank accounts or CDs or anything. What else they got, Steve?
We can talk Alabama football with Mr. Everhart. I love doing that.
Talk Alabama football, which is always a subject of interest in Fort Payne, Alabama.
Well, to me.
Or at least to Steve Chambers.
It's endearing.
It's endearing. So you've had a question for Mr. Waltson that you wanted to ask.
I got a lot of trivia questions. I'm not sure which one. What city councilman nominated me for the school board?
I think I'd have to say it was probably me.
Yeah.
Then he never forgave you.
Yeah. And how did that go? You did well, but did you like it?
Overall, it's like it was great. It was great working with Mr. Cunningham and Coach Bedingfield and Jimmy Durham and Mr. Beasley and all of the people, Mr. Cobble. It was great, but it seemed like you spent 90% of your time on 2% of the problems, you know. And any time you went in thinking we're going to do this, we're going to do that, well, 85% of the funds are already accounted for with paying for salaries and things like that. So you really shouldn't say you're going to do this and that when you got 15% of the budget to work with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I decided to do that, Steve, because I look at people's character and their ability to be able to think through tough situations and not lose it.
Well, that's Steve Chambers.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
And then he still nominated me.
And then those people weren't available, so Steve got the job.
Walter Perry lost a bet. But that wasn't even my trivia. This is the one I decided
That was for fun.
on. We worked together also at the bakery.
Yeah, I didn't know that till the break.
Marico, Earth Grains, whatever all we were called.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even think about that plant without football practice coming into my mind.
And the smell of honey buns.
Yeah, that was the best part about going to Fort Payne High School is walking from first building to third building and just smelling the honey buns.
It is good
Man.
unless it's 110 degrees on the football field, and
yeah, that might be.
that's a miserable
Allegedly,
I'm
some
sure.
people would, as soon as the chocolate went on the little Jim Donuts, would take it off the line, but I'm sure that didn't really happen.
Yeah, I have to say I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that, and Little Debbie's, and the honey buns, and the croissants.
Do you ever eating it a lot? Do you get tired of it? Did you ever get tired of it?
They had so much to sample from. By the time you cycle,
you
you
go
go back
through
around
it.
again. Yeah.
Them and Danish change your life.
So the answer is
It
no.
was so
The answer
funny
would be
to
no.
me. People say, "Oh, I love that colonial bread better than that rainbow bread. It's so much better."
Yeah.
And you know what?
You
the
didn't tell
difference
them,
was?
did you?
I can now since it's out of business. The wrapper.
Yeah.
The only
It was
difference
the same
is
bread.
the wrapper.
Really?
Yeah.
How
It was called
funny.
changeover.
Yeah, changeover.
Yeah, changeover, and they put a little break in the line, and you change the bags really quick, and the
Same
loaf
And the
was the
bread.
same bread goes
Yeah,
in the
just
different
Was
wrapper.
the price different?
Yes.
Well, I guess it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Steve pipes in on
That
that
was
one.
called marketing.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, trivia question, Steve. What you got?
Okay. Back in the day.
In the
What two? Well, we got 3 certifications, but
Still
maybe-
bakery talk.
Yeah, 2
It's
bakery
shop talk for the bakery.
We have to go fast because Brian's gonna start getting
That's
bored.
right. I'll be wondering
What
the
2
five outdoor trip of the
certifications did we
weekend.
receive together at Earth Grains?
Well, I remember one was a forklift license. Didn't you run over those racks when you were being trained one?
I ran over you.
Oh, yeah.
I was never comfortable with that, and they still gave me a license.
Yeah, I know we did
You know,
that
the plant's
together.
closed, but you're still around.
Yeah.
Well, so who won?
Yeah. And he can drive a forklift, too.
Yeah, I can drive a
He can
forklift.
drive a forklift.
All right, forklift certification.
Yes.
And another one was, I think, C-pit training. We did that, and we were certified together in continuous process of improvement.
Yeah, that was so boring. Though.
Yeah,
The other one I'm thinking about is you can save lives.
yeah. And the other one was, what was the other one? Oh, God, what was it? Oh, Lord, what was the other one?
What lifeguards do.
Check to see if he's breathing.
Annie, are you okay?
What does lifeguards do? What was it?
You gonna leave him hanging?
How long are we going
Give
to
me a clue. Give me a clue what it was.
Okay.
It was.
Check to see if they're breathing. Tilt their
Oh,
head.
that
Chest compressions.
CPR
There
with the
you
little
go.
baby
Yeah.
and pushing their fingers. Yeah.
Or an employee.
Yeah, really.
There's not a lot of babies at Marico, are there?
That's another story.
That was fun. That was simple life. Yeah. Wow. Brought back memories.
All right.
And we wore the real red patch. And,
Yeah.
I do remember those. I remember that.
And we were something, right? We felt
Yeah,
like
we
we
thought
were.
we were somebody.
Yeah.
Had your fancy
I
pack.
heard somebody said, if I'm dying, just let me go.
Yeah.
Just stick a honey bun in my mouth and just tell my wife I love her.
Yeah.
That's a good memory.
So all of that. How long were you at Earth Grange or Marico or whatever it was? When you were
25
there?
years.
25 years. Wow. So, how being from? Are you from Fort Payne? I didn't only think I knew that.
No, I'm not from Fort Payne. Actually, I was going to Tennessee with my mother, and I came in and I saw Doris walking down the street, and I said, I'm going to live there.
Really?
Yeah, no, not really, man. I'm just
That's a cool story. If that's true.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 46 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Congratulations.
that's
I think y'all are going to make it.
Yeah, hey, she's awesome.
So how did you get here? When
Mom wanted to leave the city in Birmingham, the hustle and bustle of
Okay.
the noise, and she wanted to move to an area, which a lot of people are doing now as well.
Yeah.
Move to areas that's a little bit more like Fort Payne.
okay. And so you got,
And so I'm here.
did you just pick it on a map and go, we're going to go there, or are you riding down the road? And
Yeah, it was a part of a church function, as you know. One of the guys identified it as a place that would be kind of safe and a blessed place to live.
Okay.
And so we came.
And what year was that?
That was 74.
Wow.
Yeah.
Been here the whole time.
Yeah, I've been here, and I'm not. When I go back to Birmingham, I'm going like, I can't wait to get back to Fort Payne. I just, I don't know what they're doing down there, but I'm ready to go. So, but, yeah.
Hey, don't forget about the skating rink.
Oh yeah, skating rink is.
Skating rink was the.
You gonna make me cry? No, skating rink is awesome. I've met so many people at skating rink.
Were you the DJ
player, weren't you?
I played basketball, DJ, skating rink. Met a lot of parents and kids. Those kids are grown up now, and they always tell the stories about we used to dance. Disco was the thing.
Yeah. I remember. I was
big
there.
hair and stuff like that. And I had one of the big afros and
Did
stuff. Oh yeah, man, I was cool. But I missed that, and I really wish there's something. We're working now trying to get developers interested in Fort Payne, trying to come bring something like that. But you got to have infrastructure. You got to have people behind them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So running for re-election as an incumbent, what's your message? What's your main message to those that are looking at that and going, okay, we want to give you another 4 years? What are you communicating to folks as far as the future and what you want to see happen in the next couple of years? I know I've heard this before, but go ahead and share it with our audience.
Well, of course, I'd run before. Then I decided, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, and I came back because I saw that raising sales tax is not the only option.
Okay.
There's got to be something else. And the city's not broke, but to maintain our current trajectory where we want to go, we need a way to bring in those funds. Okay, this time was starting the maintenance program. We did a lot of good stuff, And I want to continue to see that. When I leave, I want you to be able to, the citizens to be able to ask this question to any of you. If you would say, how's the city doing? You could explain it to them in that 3-bucket method that I was talking about.
Okay.
General fund strong. The investment fund that we have in matching funds is strong, and you know what that number is. And the money market fund is off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 things would equip us to go where we need to go in Fort Payne. So what I want to do is stick around to make sure that happens.
Okay.
But it's going to have to be some wise investment and some trends that we're going to have to change and adopt to be able to get there.
Anything that you can share, or is that just kind of stuff that too in the weeds for people? For strategies and things. Is this specific businesses you're trying to recruit, or you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those businesses attract businesses.
Yeah.
So it's the right ones. It's not just saying, well, I think I need to get this. I like to have a Jim and Nick's one day.
Ooh.
I'll allow it.
But they follow certain.
Restaurant.
They follow certain other companies.
I got you.
So they have to be there. The thing is that we have to be careful is not to cannibalize the local people.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
that's the trick that you got to do, and you got to navigate that because they really work hard.
Oh,
To
absolutely.
make sure that we're looking for stuff to be able to help them too. Right now, we don't have that legislation.
There's good barbecue places here.
There's good barbecue places
question
here,
about it.
and they have that little niche. I like the brownfield project thing that we're looking at.
Okay.
Downtown.
Yeah.
Where we purchased that little piece of property, and because we knew the state wanted to help us develop that and bring it out of the muck, and so we just received a $1.5 million grant.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna give us more. That's no matching funds. They're giving us that because they want us to grow. Thanks to Nathaniel and Steve.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We'll thank them tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
We're going to be out there
we'll
with
get
them.
them. So I mean,
Was that 3 blocks?
yeah, it's 3 acres.
And
Okay.
It's
And what are y'all going to do with that?
warehouses.
Well, the environmental impact study is what we've got to do. Okay. So we got to determine. So they go back as far as 1938 and what was there, and if it was a gas station, what kind of soil contamination was it? So they're doing all that stuff. So say if you had it, you would have to pay that $1.5 million before you develop it.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get that grant. The city can get that grant.
Okay.
And so what we can do is prepare it. And Brian's really worked hard on that too. Not this Brian, but the other Brian. The Brian that's
Thank you. You're welcome.
He's really worked hard on securing that. So
that's my 6th job that I have.
So looking forward to that. That's going to be great things. I may not see the end of it because it will continue to go, but we're preparing for the next generation to come up and have something to build on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm interested to hear your answer to this. Should candidates declare Republican or Democrat or have primary like we used to back in the day.
And from my opinion,
for your opinion.
Now let me say this: the reason I'm answering some of these questions is because I'm a senior council member.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there long enough not to shy away from these type of questions because they're real questions what people have. I think for me, I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care what your political preference is. My job as a council member is to be sure that you have what you need to live in this city. Mm-hmm. So I don't see how declaring what you are would do anything but be divisive toward...
Or running in a primary, like they do other races.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't...
I think it goes to probably more than anything stereotypes of... Well, if they are a Democrat, they're going to have these values, and if they're Republican, they're going to have these values. And so, in a city governing situation, I don't know that a lot of that legislatively is going to ever come about. I mean, you're not going to talk abortion in the city of Fort Payne, or you're not going to talk about... Now, you will talk about taxes, and I think you've made a declaration on that here on the show, is that you are for lower taxes and making sure that we're not having to...
So Walter's a Republican.
I'll say this to people to not
I think
isolate.
we should defend the country.
My thoughts are conservative.
Yeah.
You know, I'm moderate because I'm for everybody. I'm not interested in anything but you need a place to work, you need a place to shop, you need a place to sleep. You know, so everybody, no matter what they are, they have those same needs. So in the city of Fort Payne, we're fortunate to not have to deal with what a person's political preference is.
Yeah.
It's making sure that they're comfortable in this city.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You had another one, didn't you?
Should councilmen be on city boards? I know
that was a good question.
There's been
That's
some,
one that's we have fun. Now, when I first
been
ran,
having fun with that.
I told the mayor at that time told me, I said I'd like to be on the city council after we went to. You remember Promise Keepers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I started this journey when Coach Bill McCartney said, men that are involved in church need to get involved in government.
Okay.
And I came back not knowing. I said, yeah, okay, yeah, amen, brother. And I came back, and I didn't really know that was for me. And Mr. Joe Underwood asked me, why don't you consider running for city council?
When you first started getting into
when I
politics.
first started. And I asked him, what is that?
Didn't know what it was.
So I knew what it was, but I didn't know what the details were.
Yeah.
And so I got in and learned. But should a council member serve? He told me that if I wanted to run, I needed to serve on a board. The board was a non-paying board.
To begin with.
So I got a chance to learn from a non-paying board. We really can't get people to serve on the non-paying boards, but it seems like they want to serve on the paying boards.
Yeah.
You know, so should a council member serve? For the pay, I think it's more about pay.
Well, it's not exactly a killing that you make on these
Yeah,
things.
it's not. Yeah, $500 or something like that. But it's.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Let me answer your question. It is, if a council member needs to be on that board to make sure the connection between the city and that utility works, yes, they should be on the board.
So you'd be like a liaison.
Right, you'd be like a liaison. Whether they're paid or not paid, you know, there's communication that needs to happen between the city of Fort Payne and DC Gas and Improvement Authority and the Water Board. Now, they've done an excellent job of selecting managers that understand what Fort Payne is doing. That hadn't always been the case.
Okay. All right, we got to take a break, so hold on to that thought. If you want to continue, you can after this break. We got one more segment with Walter Waltson. You're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is Judge Andrew Hairston, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB.
Hello, this is Mike Shirey with the Fort Payne Improvement Authority. As we approach the 4th of July holiday, FPIA encourages everyone to embrace and acknowledge the freedom we enjoy across our great country. This freedom came with great sacrifice, and we never should take this for granted. We at FPIA wish everyone an enjoyable holiday celebration with family and friends. Remember to keep your celebration safe and exercise caution and follow proper safety guidelines when lighting fireworks. Especially be aware of your surroundings and stay away from power lines. From your friends at the Fort Payne Improvement Authority, have a safe and happy 4th of July.
All right, we are back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. One more episode with Mr. Walter Waltson, City Council President. That's right, isn't it? That's what we call it? Okay. Incumbent running for re-election, so we've been asking him some questions, and Steve's got a list. He's about to hammer you. You ready?
Hammer away, Steve.
Okay. There is some criticism about communication among the councilmen, councilwomen, and men. And well, what is your like when y'all meet? I guess people are thinking there's communication, a lack of communication between you guys, and then maybe between the departments and such. And I know you're the one that can answer that, not me. So, what's your opinion on that?
I don't. I'm a peacemaker, so I don't avoid conflict. I know you have conflict, you have to go in and resolve the issue. The caliber of discussions that we have, sometimes there's going to be difference of opinion. So if the general public thinks that we're all just sitting around tables always singing Kumbaya,
you can't get anything done that way.
You won't, because it's the idea of having different thoughts, bringing them together to make one or the majority rule.
So you're hashing it out doesn't mean that you're not communicating.
Now, communicating between the everyday functions of the city, that's a must. Whether it be handling conflict, or just getting everybody together and say, here's what we're going to do. That's not in my wheelhouse, but I will challenge it when I see that it's not working correctly. Because those individuals that are appointed by us, they have to communicate. They have to work together.
Yeah.
And my job as the president of council, when it's not working, what I did was I brought it out. I would rather have done it in an executive session, but at that point in time, I was told by our attorneys that we need to bring it out, which it looked like we're fussing, but if you can just follow us around, it was just people airing out, which I think it could have been more professional than it was. I wouldn't have done that, but that's not everyday thing. I look at that, I'm going like, still, after all that, you need to communicate. It remains the same. So whatever you got to do, you need to do that. So I think communication is crucial. But just wait till you get there and you get 5 A personalities in the room together.
Usually, if you're a city councilman, you're probably going to have an alpha personality.
Right.
I would think.
Most of the time, yeah.
Right. And so
it's not passive like.
Well, you're either going to have the accusation of just being a yes man, like we just all agree, so there's never any conflict. Or you have what y'all have, which is now you don't communicate, and so you're never going to make everybody happy.
No, but it is what it is.
To me, if you're sitting in a room making executive decisions and you're not disagreeing passionately at some point, then I'm not sure you're qualified to lead.
That's exactly right. You need to know how to do that, because everybody has their own idea. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I say no.
That's
this
a
is
challenge.
what we're going to do.
Because you got to defend your spot passionately, but then when we all vote, we're together, and it doesn't mean we all vote the same, but it does mean that this is the decision we made. So.
I'm confused on something. I'm confused on a lot of things.
Well, hopefully I can help you. I am too.
That's not what he's here for. But
that's another counselor. That's another counselor. The mayor.
Yeah, Holly. That got her.
Oh, we're down one here.
That's a good one.
Man down. Does the mayor have veto power?
The mayor has veto power, yes, to a certain degree.
I mean, like if y'all
Can you override his veto?
Like I understand the presidential veto, and it can be overridden by a certain amount. But if y'all voted 5-0 for something, he couldn't just step down and veto, right?
He can oppose something. So we don't want it to go to that. Those parameters are there if you have a dysfunctional council group and mayor. Okay, we don't have that.
I know it's not like so you can break a tie, but there's an odd number of councilmen, so there's not going to be much of a tie.
Right.
I think.
Now, so stepping in to vote, he can't do that. Now, he can protest in a way that he don't agree with the decision that we made. But rather than do that, we have what we call committees. And the mayor is on a committee. So with each department, there is 2 council members that serve with him. When there's an issue that could be controversial, they get together and they try to resolve it to help formulate whatever the answer is going to be, and they bring it back to the council, and then we look at it that way. That prevents any veto, anything that could be, because we iron out all the things that he may feel like, or the council may feel like may be the sticking points. That's worked really well, and I think it needs to continue on, and it needs to be strong. Now, the council can't tell the department heads what to do. That was one of the challenges one time, because they thought being chairman of a committee meant that they can go say, "Hey, Mr. Man, go over and pave that road." You can't do that. It's just a liaison committee that gets together with the mayor and talk about a specific project, and then the mayor they bring that back to the council, and then we say, "Okay, sounds good," but then we still deliberate a little bit, and then we make a decision.
So there's not a scenario where all the council's good and the mayor said, "I don't care what y'all voted, I'm vetoing this."
We avoid that. Yes, there is legislation that would allow that, but we avoid that by having committees.
Just what you said.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about moving council meetings to evenings? I've heard that being proposed out there. What's the
that helped me out, because I have to take my lunch break every time we have one.
Well, that's right. If a teacher gets elected, they need to do that.
Is that going to be on the table? I guess it'll have to be at least a discussion.
It's done at our organizational meetings.
Yeah.
I was a proponent for that, but there's so many. You have to pay the employees overtime to get them to come. The amount of people that comes in the evenings is not that many more than comes now. Maybe if we move the work sessions to the evening, the things that have they're more poignant to a specific topic.
Okay.
Maybe that will be, but I don't know. The next group will decide, but there needs to be some thought put into it before you just say, "Oh, I think we need to move it to the evenings." The general public has the right to speak up and say, "We want it in the evenings." If everybody comes out and they want it in the evening, we expect to see them at the council meetings in the evening.
Yeah. What do you think about, it seems though, this is anecdotal. What the heck? Why not? Just sling stuff out there. That there's not other than right now, like right now there's hot interest in council, mayor, everything. But just in a normal year, normal workings of the city, unless something comes up like a food city or something like that, there's not a ton of public interest in some of the day-to-days. Do you think that that's a bad thing, and how could we improve on it? Or is it pretty normal with cities that are like that? Is there something we could do from a PR standpoint from the city? And I see a lot of posts and a lot of social media presence, so I think there's an attempt at that. But what's your thoughts on that aspect of things, and getting public interest up in just the inner workings of a day-to-day government, city government?
Well, see, council meetings are boring to the general public. Why waste your time to come down for something that's boring? But if there is
we'll do karaoke night at the council meeting.
Would you do that for us?
We would absolutely do that. Let us come and interview during the council meetings.
We can do that. Are they still on FPTV?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why we do that. We broadcast it so you can replay it, you can look at it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
But here's one thing I would ask.
Looking right at the camera.
When you have a question about something that we've done, please call your elected officials.
Sorry. Wait, say that again. I'm trying to focus in on you.
It's endearing, Holly.
Yeah.
some little screen.
He's
popped
okay.
up.
Just
there it is.
yeah.
Okay, wait.
Hold on. She's gonna get you on.
Okay.
She's going to speak to the
Speak on ISO.
camera.
There it is.
There we go.
Say it.
Speaking right to the camera.
Point that
Okay,
finger.
and I've got my shirt on, so I'm really celebrating today. But really, seriously, if there's some question that you have from a video that you saw, get on Facebook. That's fine, but please call the elected officials. I mean, I need to hear from you, not your favorite one, but just call any of them, and call them often and let you know what you feel. Let's not wait until election time, because we're like behind the game. So I welcome anybody. I hope by what I've said today will let you know that I'm not afraid to answer questions, tough questions. And that's what we've got to have in our leadership team, people that are not afraid to answer questions, because honesty and integrity is important to them. And it's important to me.
Yeah. Wow.
Good job.
There we go. All right, we've got to take a commercial break. Our time with Walter is over. Thank you so much for coming in. We really, really
Thanks for
enjoyed
having
it. Thank you for bringing lunch also. We'll be right back. We've got more Lunch with Bryan and Steve, and we'll be right back right after this.
When you need to give something special, visit Tracy's in North Fort Payne. Beautiful floral arrangements, fresh or silk, stylish jewelry, scented candles and pampering products, cuddly stuffed animals, balloons, and candy. Tracy can help you put together the perfect gift and gourmet basket. Potted plants or hanging baskets with fresh spring flowers. At Tracy's, you're sure to find that unique gift that shows just how much you care. Tracy's is located at 2103 Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 and Saturdays from 9 to noon. For every occasion, visit Tracy's full-service florist, personalized printing, and gifts. DeKalb Fix-It Appliance Warehouse is a mouthful, so Terry and Bobby have decided to drop the Fix-It and focus on giving you the best prices on new appliances. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Amana, LG, Samsung, GE, and more. Up to 75% off retail priced on new, scratched and dent appliances. And as your Electrolux and Frigidaire dealer, DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is passing on more savings to you with even more new in-box selections. Need a refrigerator? Come in today and shop our overstocked warehouse. You will not get a better deal anywhere. We guarantee to match or beat any price. In-house service available to all as well. Used appliances will now be available at our previous location on Godfrey Avenue, along with the same computer sales and repairs our customers have come to enjoy. The DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is open weekdays 9 to 5, Wednesdays and Saturdays 9 to 2, located on Airport Road in Fort Payne.
Hi, everybody. This is Greg Fowler. I work with the group Alabama, the Alabama Band Fan Club and Museum, and you are having lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB. All right. That was painless.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve, episode 18. We just had Walter Waltson in studio, so thankful for you guys listening to us on WZOB 100.9 FM, 1250 AM. Please go back and watch old episodes. Get our viewage. Viewage? Is that a word?
It is now.
I just made it up if it's not. It's endearing. So go to our YouTube channel, watch those old episodes, and we'll be live tomorrow. Just kind of do some housekeeping now that we've got Walter wanted to make sure he had the full attention. I really liked that interview.
Yeah, I thought he did great.
Didn't back down from anything.
No. I thought we wanted to be fair because he has been in office. That he's been seeing the inner workings and the back doors and all that stuff. So we wanted to make sure and ask him the questions that we're seeing. And so you guys that are commenting out there in the Facebook world, although you're not commenting on WZOB's Facebook page, we'd like for you to do that just so we can see it directly. But just asking those tough questions and You may not have liked his answers, but we asked the questions, and so that's what we want to do. We want to be fair with everybody that comes in, give them a chance to answer the questions. And he is one that's been in office, been seeing the inner workings, and able to answer those questions. So we asked them. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We do have several other city council, city candidates. I was about to say municipal election candidates coming up in the next couple of weeks. Just as a programming note, next Thursday, we will not be live and in studio. What we're going to do, I think this is what we're going to try to do, Miss Holly. She said this.
The Lord willing.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
That's right.
We're gonna record next week's episode tomorrow morning at Henniger City Park. So this is Nathaniel Ledbetter and Steve Livingston's hosting a breakfast at Henniger City Park tomorrow morning. Early. We're going to broadcast from 7 to 9. So we will be live tomorrow morning. It'll be breakfast with Bryan and Steve tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 on WZOB. That will not go live out on Facebook though tomorrow. Yeah. We're going to record those segments. Holly's going to piece that together and play that episode next Thursday, the 10th, in studio. So there'll be an episode that will be showing, but it will be a pre-recorded one because we're going to do it tomorrow morning. So hopefully we'll get to see a lot of folks, maybe even get to see a gubernatorial candidate or two, or at least one that we know of.
We're going to send out little shorts on Facebook, so you're going to see shorts.
Okay, so we will have some stuff out there.
It will be on Facebook, yeah.
All right.
Where are we supposed to meet?
Yeah, we need to work out the details of where we go. Do we just show up there tomorrow morning and find you?
Yes, and the earlier the better. I'm going to try to be up there around 5:30.
Okay.
To set up.
In the morning?
So
this evening, she's going to camp out.
In the morning. In the morning. Well, that's what I was told, that everybody actually starts setting everything up around 5. So
I'll get there as early as I can to.
You're early bird.
Yeah, I know.
This is not.
We'll start shaking hands and maybe try to recruit. Do we need to recruit people then? Can we start lining up the show?
As a matter of fact, before the show starts, it would be great if you guys were there early. This is shopkeeping talk right here.
I know. We're having a company meeting right here on the air. So anyway, that's tomorrow morning. We'll be live.
Bryan, great idea.
We'll be live with Lunch with Bryan and Steve tomorrow morning. It'll be breakfast with Bryan and Steve. So tomorrow morning at Henniger City Park. Next week, that episode will show. And then the following week, July the 17th, Todd Simpson will be in studio with us, city council candidate. The next week, 24th, Chad Williamson will be in the studio with us. The next week, the 31st, Coach Richard Camp will be with us on the show. And then don't know about August the 7th. Still got that one open for the rest of you council candidates. And then August 14th, Pete Davis, the other candidate for mayor, will be with us in studio. So I talked with him, texted with him. I've had 3 of those that got booked after our last episode. So Bo Gentleman had such a good showing that 3 folks decided to jump on board. And so we're excited to have those guys.
And then the primary is the 26th.
Primary's the 26th. We got what's that thing going? The 29th of July. We got some. The candidates are
the forum.
The forum, yeah. So
we should have our own.
Yes, you've said that. Put it together, guys. Do it. I'll show up.
Anyway, so I was a little bit nervous when we started seeing the train coming down the tracks. I'm like, we're getting in the middle of all this and not even meaning to. But I've enjoyed being able to ask people questions and be part of the conversation. So that's a good feeling to feel like you're informing the public.
I'm more informed this year, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, having to sit through all of these conversations.
Well, if I'm going to sit here, I might as well learn something.
I might as well pay attention.
When are you going to start doing that?
I did go to the forum, and if that is open to the public, yes,
it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would encourage people to come out to that. I did go 5 years ago because I was with ZOB, and we were, all the media was welcome, and you're like, this guy knows what he's talking about, and this person really doesn't know what they're talking about. Yeah. So it is very helpful.
And I have not heard anybody yet say, leave me alone, don't ask me a bunch of questions. All the candidates that we've said, I mean, they're pretty open to reach out, talk to us, text me, call me. Here's my phone number. Mayor Bain's done that. Walter Waltson, people are making themselves available. So if you are unsure or if you've got questions, I would encourage you to do that. I think that's from a Christian standpoint, that's the biblical thing to do.
Yeah.
But even if you're not a believer, I think the wise thing to do is if somebody's doing something and you see something and you think that ain't right, well, then go talk to them.
Or, I mean, the rumor mill. The rumor mill is always, pumping out information. And is that accurate? Like the city is broke. I mean, that whole thing. I'm glad that he went into that.
Yeah. So it's good information. All right, Steve, it is time once again for Steve. We need music for this or something.
What kind of music?
I don't know. It's got to be peppy.
Okay. I got
Raindrop.
You want to know what?
Yeah, give me something for
Well, this one's called, I won't tell you what it's called because that's not nice.
What do we got?
Here we go.
It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for Steve's Rain Gauge Report. Steve, what do we got showing for the month? Well, actually, we're in July. So we got a total for June, we got a total for the year, and we've got 1 day into July. What do we got?
I got a total for June, 3.62 inches.
What was May?
Normal.
May was like 6 something, wasn't it?
It was
6 3/4.
Over 10.
Was it over 10?
Yes, May was.
Oh wow! And June was
3.62.
A third of that.
It's starting to get normal.
Is that normal?
Yes. And for July, at my rain gauge, 1/100th of an inch.
Oh, okay, there we go. So 1/100th of an inch. What's a normal month? I guess it does matter.
It's higher than you think. It's over 5 inches for July. You think it's dry, but those thunderstorms, when they get one right over you,
they'll dump some rain, won't they?
So
Boy.
I guess on average. But now we do the heat index because we're trying to keep people entertained and informed.
What are we looking at?
And as you know from last week, you take the temperature and the relative humidity and put it in a complicated formula. Or you can use the app.
Yeah.
So right now in Fort Payne, it's 87 degrees with only 47% humidity because we had a little front come through last night. It got down to 67
Nice.
degrees.
I thought I slept better.
So
I did sleep good last night. Is that?
Yes. Which makes the feels like temperature only 88. So
really? So it's not that bad out there right now.
Now,
it's just 88.
Now tomorrow it'll kick in. The
just wait.
For the 4th of July.
Yeah,
have you ever been to San Diego and seen the weather out there?
I've never been to San Diego.
Have you ever been out to San Diego?
It's like 75 degrees all the time.
It's unbelievable. So the cool, crisp autumn days that we have, like in October, it's that way every day.
All the time?
Every day of the year.
This is why California is so attractive, right?
It is, other than the
beautiful.
politics.
Yeah, it's just you go broke living there.
That's
So is the cool breeze off the Pacific?
I don't know, but you'd think because of San Diego and where it's located, it would be
near Mexico.
It's hot,
yeah.
but it is. You wake up and it's 47, 48, 50 in the morning. It gets up to 75.
And that's all year round.
Look it up on
like Hawaii.
Yes, every day of the
degrees.
year. It's just like there'll occasional rain, but it is so rare. I think you'd almost get sick of it.
Yeah, I was about to say I'd get bored. I like the change in
4 seasons.
I do like the 4 seasons.
I do too.
I like. I want that cold weather, and then I'm like, I wish there were summer. And stuff.
Yeah, I find myself at like Christmas parades. If it's 70, 75, I'm like,
Yeah. Oh.
But I don't want it to be 20. But 35.
Well, Halloween a few years ago, when they had those like Halloween things downtown? Do you know what I'm talking about? And the bugs, and it was mucky and hot. Did y'all go that year?
No, I don't do that.
It was awful. Oh my goodness! It was like it was terrible.
Well, that's one of the things. I mean, tonight, I think we're going to try to go to the fireworks. I want to be a community guy, like Bo Gentleman last week.
It.
Like I just go out and get in the community. But that doggone heat and humidity, I
just not willing to be uncomfortable.
I just don't know that I can.
People.
It's just so difficult. We'll go set up. We'll go set up and we'll do we won't do a live remote.
We can wait till the sun kind of starts to go down.
Yeah, but then I get tired and I start wanting to fall asleep. We got to be up in the morning. How are you going to do that?
Paul, because I can do everything. I can do it all. No, it's all by the grace of God. And y'all pray for me because I'm feeling under the weather.
No.
Yeah. Well, we just got back from going to visit my brother in Florida, and you're
what part of Florida?
Valparaiso, right outside of Fort Walton Beach.
Okay.
In the Panhandle.
Where Barry Krause is from.
Near Destin.
Is that an Alabama football player?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I don't play for the Green Bay Packers. So, sorry.
So anyway.
No, Indianapolis Colts. I'm sorry. That's why you win, isn't it?
Yes, that's why I went.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, came back a little bit under the weather. So.
Yeah. What time will you get to be able to get to bed tonight?
Tonight? Oh no! I mean, the fireworks is 8:45, so
Okay.
I'll probably be out in that field with Lynn, making sure that we're synced up.
Yeah.
And then, so I'll get home 9:30. I'll just go straight
Okay.
to bed. It
Yeah.
won't be too bad.
Okay.
And we're at Henniker.
And I
You realize how far it is?
We're in
Yes.
Henniker. We're gonna be.
and I'm an
It's
early
a city
bird
park.
anyway.
I know, but
Just
there's-
drive around. You'll see her.
It's right off of 75. You just turn
I know
left.
where the
it's
park
like,
is, but where? I mean, that's like
it's the
100
building.
acres.
The
Go to the
building.
building.
Go to the building.
one building?
The one building. It's not that
Okay.
big. I mean, it is Henniker.
Didn't you read the email, Steve?
I did. It made no sense.
There wasn't an email.
If you want to meet me here at 4:30, you can just
ride
follow
with
me
her.
out there.
You carpool.
Yeah,
I love you, Holly, but I
For-
think I'll just meet you out there.
you'll find your
You're
way.
close to Henniker on that end of town, aren't you?
Yes.
So you're not too far.
Actually, we can stand in our driveway and see their fireworks.
Oh,
Henniker's-
that's cool.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
That's
good for
really
you.
Cool. Yeah.
Good for you. Well, so that's what's coming up. We got a lot happening with the show. A lot of things that are about to happen with the show that we'll talk about over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yes, we will. It's great.
Not right now. Not right now. But just know big news is coming.
I didn't get that email either. well, you're out. That's why. We found somebody that knows what they're
Thanks,
doing.
Steve. We appreciate all your service to the
I
show.
love it. I really have. I made a ton, buddy. Can I still do football?
Yeah.
I'll be up there in the stands by myself with my headphones on, complaining about a holding call. Take him. Take him.
Steve will stand out in
take
front of
him
the.
to
He'll
assisted
stand out
living
on the
after.
patio right in front of the booth. He'll go. That was holding too.
Getting tired of this.
All right.
All right.
So we got to take one more commercial break. We got one more segment left. Thank you guys for joining us. This is Lunch with Bryan and Steve, and we'll be right back.
My Supply is my hometown hardware store. At My Supply, I never have to wander aimlessly around the store looking for what I need. I know that when I walk through the door, I'm going to be greeted by a person and helped right away. So whether you're looking for plumbing, electrical, hand or power tools, welding supplies, standard or metric fasteners, or anything else to help with your home projects and repairs, shop My Supply on Godfrey Avenue in Northeast Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. My Supply, your hometown hardware store.
Do you need to declutter? Wish you could free up some valuable space at work or home? Helium Mini Storage has climate control units available, and all their units are gated for maximum protection. You can also store your stuff at home with their Four Seasons or Max Steel storage buildings for sale. Just come by Helium Mini Storage on Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And while you're there, be sure to check out play sets for the kids. Store your stuff with Helium Mini Storage.
Hi, this is Alabama Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB.
Rawson Pools is eliminating every reason why you can't have your very own. No cash on hand? There's financing available at Rawson Pools. Ground too rocky? Rawson Pools is installing hybrid above-ground pools with 14-gauge steel panels, making it more durable and cost-effective than your average above-grounder. Check out their Facebook page to see what 30 years of pool installation experience can give you. Call 256-638-5904 to take the plunge. And always visit Rawson Pool and Supply Store in Rainsville for all your pool supply and accessory needs. Rawson Pools, the pool professionals.
I want to thank my band for producing that bed music. Lunch with Bryan and Steve, our last segment of the day. So,
You want to talk about Mark's retirement party?
oh yeah. Tell me about that.
I nearly spilled the beans last Thursday.
Last Thursday?
Because you usually ask what we're going to do, and I said, I'm going to Mark's surprise retirement party. I didn't really say that. His employees, he knew he was going to have that party 2 to 4, but from 4, they had some of us guys, known him all our lives. We came up, and and I visited with him, and the
That's
food,
fun.
food was good.
Was it?
Honey on a biscuit. That was, I thought, wow, that's pretty good.
Get one of those tomorrow morning.
So then they gave us these goofy things to wear. And did
Yeah,
a
show that picture. Holly, can you zoom in on that?
We're talking about Mark Malone that's retired as a
So who's in this picture? Can you? Well, you can't
head
get any
of
closer than that.
Who's the guy in the glasses in the front taking the picture?
I'll have to look at these to tell who all this is.
Oh, that's a Booger Bynum. isn't it?
Oh, Booger. Okay.
Bynum.
I've heard of him.
Larry Sanders, Jimmy Sanders, Mike Shirey, Mike Griggs, Mark.
Okay, now put the picture back
Me,
up.
Mike McWilliams, Robbie Davis.
Just so that we know who we're looking at. There we go. Okay.
There we go. So that's Mark Malone's retirement party.
Former police chief.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good job.
That's as close in as I can get.
So how did that feel? Was that?
Oh, it was great.
Well, you're retired too, and Randy's retired. Is he? He's called retired, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just a bunch of old people that forgot we're old. We're having Mike Shirey's still running Fort Payne.
Yeah,
Improvement
that's true.
Authority.
Yeah.
So I think Mike McWilliams might. Still
he's
be
not doing
working.
football though this year, is he?
No, I didn't know that until he told me.
I didn't know it
last
either.
Thursday. He's retired from officiating.
We need to get him during football season on Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Yes.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
He would be a lot of fun. He would have some really good Nick Saban stories.
Yeah.
And Ogeron.
Ed Ogeron.
And somehow Coach Ogeron got his phone number to argue a call during the week. Hey, it's Shirey. Go Tigers. Anyway, it's a lot funnier
That's
than
not
Mike
bad. That's
telling
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah. Hey, did you see him at a retirement party taking his shirt off and dancing on the? I think we had a little too much to drink.
I like his.
Retirement
If you want to see something interesting, go watch his interview when he's talking about getting fired from
party.
LSU.
Yeah, thanks a million.
It's like, wait a minute, you're going to pay me this to go home?
Show me the door. He and Bobby Bonilla party together, I guess.
Boy, to have that kind of wow. Can you imagine? Like I was thinking, somebody was telling me the TVA CEO is retiring and getting some kind of $40 million pension. Like $40 million.
So I'd take half that.
To leave.
Yeah.
To retire and go to the house.
Yeah.
Can you,
that's
I mean,
nice.
Martha's offered me money to leave, but
it's far less than that.
It's a little less than that. She would if she could.
Yeah.
All right. Did you know it's National Fried Clam Day, National Chocolate Wafer Day, National Compliment Your Mirror Day?
Compliment your mirror.
Yeah, that's
You're very clear today.
It's
It's crazy what national.
We have hit the bottom of the barrel, folks. This is the end
Is
of the
this
show.
our tax dollars at work? People that come, up with these stupid, this is National whatever day. Who are these people?
I don't know, 1957, Paul McCartney and John Lennon first met on this day.
Is that right?
Lou Gehrig, in 1939, Lou Gehrig gave his memorable "Unluckiest Man on the Face of the Earth"
Today,
speech.
on the 3rd, July 3rd.
July 3rd, 1939.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's how many people? Well, Derek, just Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
They
My
don't
cousin's
call it that
husband.
anymore, do they?
No,
It's
ALS.
ALS.
But
Yeah.
before it was Lou Gehrig's disease. Some people call it ALS.
Yeah.
But it's flipped now. Everybody knows ALS, and you don't ever hear it called Lou Gehrig's disease, do you? I know.
I guess people forget who Lou Gehrig was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it used to be that was the
name.
That was the name, like Tommy John surgery. Like everybody still calls it Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
They don't call it ULC surgery or whatever they call it. UCL.
or UCLA or something.
UCLA. Yeah.
In 1865, U.S. Secret Service began operation.
Right after the Civil War.
Right after the President Lincoln was assassinated. A day late and a dollar short there, but
That's
A little bit late on that.
Yeah.
A little bit late on that
Come
one,
guys.
I told you we should have had that meeting.
Oh, you'll like this. July 3rd, 1989.
Sorry, was that inappropriate? No, it's 100 and something years ago. It's fine.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
Lincoln doesn't
Go
care
ahead. I'm
anymore.
sorry.
July 3rd, 1989, the first episode of Seinfeld.
Is that right? Boy, that was a big show.
First called. Do you know what was first called?
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Like it was something like
Oh,
a show about nothing or something.
No, it was the Seinfeld show or something like that.
Seinfeld Chronicles.
That's what it was.
Chronicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, but they only did 2 episodes like that. I think I used to know that show
backwards and forwards.
Oh, I mean, I knew every
You loved the
episode.
soup episode, didn't you?
We
With
were
the
talking
soup Nazi.
Yeah.
Oh, this is for you too, Brian. In 1946, the first bikini made its debut
This is Bryan. This
by
is
Louis Reard,
Why-
French.
Why are you dragging me in?
Named for the Bikini Atoll, which ironically is where the first atomic weapons passed after World War II. It's like, I don't know why the connection.
those two connected. That's
But they
strange.
named
You know, out of all the
Leave her
people,
clothes
out of all the
on.
people I know, you'd be the one to have that kind of information.
Well, you know, I just report the news. You decide. Okay? Birthdays: Tom Cruise in 1962. George W. Bush,
1962. So he's 11 years old. So
1946.
he's 64, 63, 62. Tom Cruise is 62 years old.
61, 62, yeah.
Can you believe that? Tom Cruise is 62 years old.
And aren't Scientology people supposed to live forever or something? Is there something in
If you
that?
pay enough money, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or are they going to be surprised?
Wait a minute.
That's why he looks so young, I guess.
184th day of the year, 181 to go.
Well, you go right up to the line. You know,
Sunrise,
why he's
5:35.
paid the big
Sunset, 7:59. So we'll actually be in the daylight at Henniger tomorrow.
This is
We're there at 5.
This is the first time Steve's got to actually go through the whole list of stuff.
No, he always has a.
In 2002, Ted Williams passed away, but they cryogenically
right.
froze
Is he
him.
still frozen?
him. So
Is he
They
still
can
frozen?
revive him at a later date.
yes,
That was his plan.
Still, is he still frozen?
yes.
Where?
I hope the power doesn't go out wherever it is.
Oh goodness.
You know, this is the first episode we've actually got to go pretty much through your whole list.
And in 1826,
And Steve's enjoying it.
1826, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams both passed away 50 years to the day after the adoption of the Declaration of Independence.
Is that 50 years to the day?
They both
Both of them.
on the same day.
Both on the same day.
Wow. That's it. I don't think I've ever heard
In
that.
1826.
That's
We're
fascinating.
here to inform.
We are here to inform.
I know, we may be struggling on entertainment right now, but we're here to inform.
Well, it's endearing. So
Yes.
we've got one more commercial break we're going to take, and then we're going to close out the rest of this episode gracefully. And we thank you for listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
So long.
Cheers.
Adios.
Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you.
More and more people are saying goodbye to pests with Safe Solutions Plus LLC. And it's no wonder with their top-notch customer service, quality products, and lower prices. And now with their new website, it's never been easier to manage your pest control service with Safe Solutions Plus. Just visit sspestandtermite.com to view your billing details, make payments online, and review past services. Family owned and operated, Safe Solutions Plus is located at 934 Main Street West in Rainsville. Call 256-638-7378. Safe Solutions Plus, protecting homes and businesses one solution at a time.
Okay then. Bye.
Hey, it's Chris Stewart, the voice of the Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WZOB Radio. Roll Tide.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is WZOB Fort Payne, 100.9 FM and 1250 AM.
We're back, Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Last segment as we close out episode 18. I have Walter Waltson in studio. Don't forget that tomorrow We'll have breakfast with Bryan and Steve at 7 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning on WZOB 100.9 FM, 1250 a.m. We won't be live streaming our Facebook feed, but we will be recording segments of the show and posting those. And then next week, Holly's going to put that all together for our show next week. So in studio, we won't be live next week. It'll just be a recorded episode that we're actually going to record tomorrow. And then 2 weeks from today, we'll have Todd Simpson in studio on the 17th, City Council.
So Holly will
candidate.
have plenty of time to
Oh, yeah,
edit.
she's got nothing to do.
She'll have plenty of time to edit for her screw up.
Actually, that's a lot
That
of fun.
doesn't give you permission to
actually.
cuss. But, huh?
That actually the editing stuff, all that's fun. That's fun stuff.
Is it really?
I mean, this is fun too. It's just different kind of
We
fun.
try to give you a challenge.
That's right. So we've got fireworks tonight. So I've got a little slide there, Miss Holly, of
Yeah, you
the
said you
slide
did.
under
Where is
random.
that? I saw
City of Fort Payne fireworks are tonight. Don't forget the locals.
Yeah.
One of our guests for On Lunch with Bryan and Steve, Paul Crawford, playing with the locals, will be tomorrow night, or tonight. Excuse me, tonight.
And who is DJ Snake? Who is that?
I looked him up on Facebook. He's just a local guy, DJ, does a lot of weddings, a lot of parties. Seems to be pretty popular. So
Okay.
he'll be out there mixing it up. I don't know if he does all the marshmallow heads.
So it's not like.
No, I don't think it's no,
it's
not
not
that
like
kind
that.
of stuff. Not
Okay.
scratching. I don't
Okay.
think.
I mean,
I'd
when
be
I think
shocked.
DJ, I think DJ Jazzy Jet, and the Fresh Prince of whatever.
Yeah.
I think of that. That's what I think.
No,
but he's
it's-
actually a DJ that's playing music.
Playing
Just-
music and
okay.
keeping the party going.
Gotcha.
Keeping the party started. Remember, Steve, cannot bring coolers tonight, so leave that at the house. You gotta just buy what they
sometimes
have.
I go nuts and drink a Diet Pepsi. I mean, that makes me crazy.
Are you a teetotaler?
Yes.
Are you? Okay.
Absolutely.
Holly, are you a teetotaler? No
No,
comment.
I'm not. I'm a Presbyterian now, so.
You're allowed to.
No.
Yeah. It's in fact it's encouraged.
All right, at least
so.
I go to a Presbyterian church, so they don't judge me.
I'm not either. I actually don't like the taste of it, but I will drink it every now and then just for.
I don't like the taste of beer. I like sweet wine.
Yeah, I don't like wine either.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I like the fruit.
But
drinks.
only like special occasions and just a
Yeah.
little bit because
I don't drink a whole bunch.
Nobody wants mama to get silly. Nobody wants mother to get
I
silly.
can just imagine you
Being silly.
inebriated
Yeah.
for some reason.
Oh, anyway, we're so thankful. Thanks, guys. We really do appreciate the fact that although nobody tells us this, we get a few comments. I'm still getting a few comments every week, but the views on Facebook are showing up. Last week with Bo Gentleman had hit 3,300 views.
That was a very good interview.
Which sounds like a lot of people are watching, or it looks like a lot of people are watching
They're
and
interested.
checking in
Yeah.
with us, and so I think we're scratching an itch.
Parker Wilson and I have come up with a commercial.
Oh, have you?
For radio broadcast. This first holding call. That the Parker Wilson Lucas Talent Holding was brought to you by Wilson Storage. We'll hold anything. Parker helped me come up
Hey,
with
that's not
Is
bad.
fantastic. We need to
Okay.
sell that to Randy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over the summer.
This holding call is brought to
I sold it to him in Sunday school, and he's all for it.
That is fantastic.
That's great.
Ah, that's a good one. So, anyway, we're grateful for you guys. We know that if we didn't have our relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we wouldn't be able to do this. We're so grateful for you guys that listen to us and watch us. Please give us feedback. If you see us out and about, come and say, hey, here's what I like about the show. If there's stuff that you don't like about the show, Holly's got an email address that she'll give you. And
1-800-COMPLAIN.
That's right. It'll go right in the same bin as Steve's complaints about holding calls. And so, but we do love feedback, love to know what we're doing and how we're doing, and we appreciate it. We do have some news coming up in the next couple of weeks about Lunch with Bryan and Steve that we'll announce later. But so thankful for Miss Holly, for Cindy, for Tim, for Steve, everybody at WZOB for what you guys do for us. Thank you guys for supporting the show. And we will see you not next week, but the next week. But tomorrow morning we'll be live at Henniger. So thanks for joining us for this
Barely
episode.
alive.
Barely alive.
Yeah.
Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We were out. See you guys later.